Hello everyone and welcome to today's Stocks and Crypto YouTube Charts video. I am NoFOMO Charts. Today is April 26, 2026. It's Sunday, just after 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the USA. Welcome everyone. This is a swing trading and investing YouTube Charts channel. This upcoming week we have big corporate earnings coming out from many global companies. I mostly focus on technology. So I'm looking forward to earnings from Logitech, Robinhood, Seagate Technology, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, perhaps even SoFi, Meta, Qualcomm, Apple, Reddit, SanDisk, Western Digital, just to name a few of the big ones. USA economic data this Wednesday, we have the big FOMC statement, FOMC press conference, and federal funds rate as well, if there's going to be any changes. We have advanced GDP, core PCE price index, other important data as well. Recent news, tech earnings, global earnings coming out this week. This is FOMC Chairman Powell's last FOMC Fed meeting this Wednesday. In-person negotiation meetings with Iran have stalled for now with the USA. However, the USA said negotiations could happen by phone. Let's switch the screen and move on to S&P 500 E-mini futures, ES1. There's some news coming out. It said that futures pulled back, but it looks very minor right now. In the daily chart, we are what I like to call high in the sky, meaning it's in the air. It's not at a support level like it was down here on April 13. It's way up here in the air. Open up pivot point. We just broke above that 71.66 level. Resistance right now is 72.07 and support 71.66. We're just stuck like that. Now, I do want to point out the 12 EMA is down here at 70. The super trend stop loss, which is about 2 ATR below the price. Let me see if that's correct or not. Approximately about 2.5 ATR is way down here at 7,000. So for us to crash down to 7,000, I mean, all the earnings basically has to be bad. I think my interpretation of the reaction to the news is the Iran negotiations on and off, or military conflict on and off, Strait of Hormuz, I think it's not bothering people as much as it did a month ago or 2 months ago. So now it's all fundamental based. Go to Nasdaq futures. So now that we had just a beautiful rally, I do want to point out that for me, I took no trades in index futures last week because just in case if it was going to go up, I don't want to enter a short and then have a losing position. I was just saying that it's possible. We did have one day of that negative 1% pullback, but the fundamentals, the news was basically good, the earnings. So I just want to watch out. I want to warn people that trying to short every single little top, it has to be maybe perhaps just like a day trade short just for a few hours to get to time the mega short in terms of like January 2026. The price has to go sideways for months, 3 months, 6 months. And then people finally think, okay, we're having a problem. We're having a problem. But this upside down head and shoulders reversal above the pivot point on the daily chart, making higher highs and higher lows, this is an uptrend. And so even if we zoom into a 1 hour chart, it's still in a raging uptrend. So until we have a massive reversal, if it comes down, it could just be a pullback to 27,286 support or 27,137. So that's why we are definitely in the uptrend, but the pullback is coming because it can't really sustain like this. It's really abnormal. So my setup that I'm looking for is some kind of shooting star. I need to see multiple shooting stars. It needs to poke out of the Bollinger Band or a clear double top or consolidation, and then maybe it'll fold over. It's really earnings based, to be honest. Let's just skip ahead to oil futures. CL1 had an interesting bounce. Oversold, Bollinger Band to reversion to the mean pivot point. Now, there's a very slight double top below 97. Going to see if that latest news is going to push it back up to 100 or not, because it did get stochastic oversold, and then that momentum's building. So if it's going to turn into an uptrend, I have to be very careful not to only focus on technicals. I have a lot of technicals on right now, indicators. It's a matter of, if the support holds, okay, which is the next support to hold? And if it does not hold, let's say 93, then we could pull back to make the higher low at 87 or double bottom at 83. So I just need to make sure, if this is a potential lower high on a weekly chart, and then the Strait of Hormuz military conflict ends at some point, maybe oil will pull back. That's why. Just keep an eye on that. GC1, gold futures. Interesting, we just got rejected barely below that pivot point at 47.43. So it sort of looks like this is our weekly lower high on gold, and then it wants to pull back, because my interpretation is, if people are really excited about, and not just excited, but we have an incredible price rally for 3 to 4 weeks, that maybe people are taking risk again, so some people might be selling off their gold position. So interesting to see if we hit that support at 46.62, which is an EMA, or 45.55. Let's take a quick look at SMH. That was making huge news. Chip stocks just obliterating the bears. Incredible rally, one for the history books. 30% in 2 months. Incredible. 40% run. But it's starting to, once we have these gap ups, as a trader, I know gap ups are for selling and taking some short-term profit. So whoever's in this, congratulations to SMH. I'm trading something else, but I'm also participating in the green gains right now. It's just a matter of, okay, can't get too excited, because if a trader has no trailing stop loss, or not prepared to sell like 10%, 20%, 50% the trade, need to be careful. Investors can probably just keep holding for like 5 years, but traders, if we don't want this to pull back like halfway, and then we're wondering why didn't we take our profit. So that's why we have a strong gap up window. We have a gap up window just from last Friday. So watching to see, are we going to crash back down 486 or not? Just move on. I'm trying to do a shorter stream video today. Total crypto market cap. Now just remember, I think I've been saying for almost 1 or 2 months, there was the bearish case, but then I kept saying, maybe like a month ago, that if we hold support, yes, we could have crashed negative 80%, but some altcoins already crashed negative 80%, and we were oversold for Bitcoin and crypto total in February. So for 2 months, I was saying, if this survives, we could try to hit the top of this resistance, which we did. So I've been in crypto just waiting. How did I know how to do that? From experience on a weekly chart, double bottom when we hit oversold, and I buy that on a weekly chart for both Nasdaq, tech stocks, and for Bitcoin, and the top like 3 or 4 or 10 cryptos, and I get a double bottom. That's a hold. That's a buy here in this zone, 200 EMA, and then just hold that as long as I can. Yes, it would be unfortunate if the price just crashes for whatever reason all the way back down 2.2 trillion. That would be a waste. But I can see this longer term investing momentum is building. We will have a pullback at some point, but the weekly RSI is not extremely overbought here. That's why there's still a chance for a Bitcoin reversal this year to go even higher than 80,000. What I do want to caution though, because again, like I said last week, because we've had a month of green in the stock market, and there's some correlation with Bitcoin up 20% or 25% from its low, is that we're still technically in a death cross downtrend here on Bitcoin. So we need to watch that out for that. Lower low, lower high. Lower low, we're making the potential lower high right now. What I do not want to see happen is we tap this 200 EMA, we get 80,000, 82,000, retail global FOMO, and then we have the crash. I really don't want that to happen. But it's not under my control. I just have to make sure that if I entered in the low zone, as a trader, I have a real stop loss and I have mental stop loss, because I definitely don't want it to come back down and have negative loss. But I also don't want it to come down to just say like I have flat loss, basically almost like a loss. So if it's going to crash at some point, then I need to take the profit. But if I'm an investor mindset, this is where some of that risk lies in the investment, is that if it pulls back, can I still hold into that and try to maintain the uptrend? This is the kind of like the hard part of holding as an investor, is when it's right here at a potential spot where I know it could turn around and pull back, how brave am I going to be to hold to that pullback as an investor, to hodl? So the resistance right now is 80,000. We also have 83,000. Support down here at 76,000, 75,000. I'll just leave it like that, keep it simple. The fact that we broke 70,000 pivot support is very good, but I'm just anticipating it. There's going to be some kind of little bit of day trading pullback, but we have 4 hour up cross. Hopefully that survives. Let's do maybe 1 or 2 more. Ethereum, beautiful, right? We can just turn off the watch list, because turn off the indicators. This is just pure technical analysis in play. Making this triangle, which was not hard for me to do for a month or 2, and then just marking the support levels, potential on the bottom, having the targets on the top, which is the top line, and then just entering the trade on an interesting pattern, upside down head and shoulders. That's trading, disciplined trading, up more than 15% on this trade. It's great. Did I catch like the bottom low? No, because I don't like doing that emotionally, but algorithmic strategy wise, that bottom is the best to buy. It's the most emotionally difficult. So I still entered in, not the best perfect spot Ethereum, but still good. Now, holding above, I like to use super trend now. I have this marked here. That's my mental stop loss. And a lot of people don't know this, is that ATR, average true range, is $92. So that's the expected move of 1 day, which is about 4%. So double that, like 2.2, 2.5 is about 8%. So that's the amount of range that I'm giving Ethereum right now, because Ethereum can have 25% swings up or down. So if it crashes negative 25%, I don't want that to happen, but that'll bring us back down to liquidity support lows. So as long as we're holding above the 20 EMA and the 26 EMA, even the 50 EMA, which is 2277, I would say we're okay, even though it's attempting a breakout. Now, I think what might happen is some shorts might enter to try to push the price back down, because we could see there's quite a bit of a price gap here. But if we have good stock earnings or something good happening with the FOMC, it could get another short squeeze on Bitcoin, on crypto and altcoins, and then we could actually shoot up to 2,600. And I'm going to watch to see if that happens or not. Okay, so I think I could just pretty much wrap up the video here. The setups are very similar, and I'll just rapid fire some. XRP holding above the 50 EMA on the daily chart, $1.40. The bigger target would be $1.50, $1.60. Solana is actually still consolidating a little bit on the weekly chart. It hasn't completed its W, so there could be maybe 6% to 12% left here on Solana. But it's delayed because I think everyone is trading tech stocks and semiconductor stocks. So people kind of don't care about Solana right now or altcoins. But I think once we have the full turnaround, like even with Dogecoin, it flipped. We're in a downtrend right now, but we flipped super trend colors, which means we have a support and it's starting to rally. So if this is real, I would like to see this actually maybe pull back and then try to get out of here. That would be beautiful. If tech stocks and crypto all reverse, that would be just wonderful to see. Cardano still not getting love from traders. People don't care about crypto right now. People think Bitcoin is dead, and they're not half wrong, because what's very much alive are tech stocks, chip stocks, AI stocks, but they're up 10, 20, 40, 50% on this year because they have a real fundamental catalyst, the AI data centers, the supply chain crunch, DRAM, NAND, SSDs, chips, silicon chips, all prices up, affecting a lot of electronics, supply, demand, price. So crypto is kind of like old news, but it's still important to, if I'm not going to trade it, I need to at least watch. And so in the future, I might look a little bit more at some tech AI stocks, because I think on this channel, I was very, very crypto focused. And so I might start to integrate a little bit more of the AI tech chip stocks in my video. I do it personally, but sometimes the video can go like 45 minutes, but sometimes it's worth it. So we'll see what happens in the future. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked the video or learned something. If you like the video, go and click the like button, consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a good one.